Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the New World Also podcast. As usual, I want to thank you for being here as I welcome in my beautiful Hashimoto stricken wife,
Oh my God.
Mama Melissa. Not to make light of it, it's been a few weeks since we've been in here. How are you feeling, first of all? Not to beat a dead horse with this whole thing, but how you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
How you holding up?
I'm holding up. I'm on levothyroxine.
If you are here and you have absolutely zero idea what we're talking about because you only watch us here and not over on Good Simple Living, Melissa has been diagnosed with some Hashimoto's.
Oh, Hashimoto.
Thanks to...
I like to say it like Japanese.
Makes it sound more authentic.
Japanese.
Thanks to so many of you here over on the podcast side of things, because it was you folks that actually spoke up down in our comment section and noted
We were like, you look like crap, Melissa.
noted the observation. No, specifically to your thyroid. They said that your throat looks swollen, and we were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I thought I was having some allergies. I mean, I would choke it up too. We're just full of jokes around here. I would compare it to kind of the feeling of being like strangled or having weight on your throat is what I was feeling.
And you didn't make a mental note of this?
I thought it was fall allergies because my eyes were also runny and my nose was runny. My eyes were really puffy. And so I thought it was like just the season changing.
Yeah.
But now I've been on this new diet for about a week and a half, and I've been on the Levo for about 2 weeks, a little bit longer, and I no longer have that feeling of being strangled.
Can we very quickly review how it is that we got here, though? So Nevaeh has been dealing with the whole autoimmune thing.
Mm-hmm.
She has celiac,
Right.
which affects her day-to-day life pretty significantly.
Yeah, it's not with Nevaeh's celiac. A lot of people are saying, well, if you move to Europe, then you won't have it because there's no gluten in Europe. There is gluten in Europe. They just have different standards for their wheat. So a lot of people with gluten intolerances can tolerate gluten in Italy.
We briefly discussed this with Dr. Kenberry when we had him on the podcast.
Right. But if you have celiac, that is not the same as gluten intolerance. If she were to go to Italy or live in Europe, she would still have celiac and she would still need to avoid gluten. It doesn't matter what kind of gluten, you have to avoid it. And that's even putting it on her skin. Like a lot of people have been like, no big deal, don't eat bread. It's like, no, it's so much more than that. Like she had to scan all her makeup. And she realized that her mascara had gluten in it. She realized that she was being glutened when she went to the dentist because they had powdered gloves.
Right.
So, I mean, it's in so many things. And like powdered latex gloves literally are powdered with wheat flour.
Bread gloves.
Yeah. So she was being
Sourdough.
glutened just having her teeth cleaned. She was being glutened. She just got glutened at Starbucks.
Glutened?
Glutened. That's what it's called.
It's a verb now?
Yeah. So now that she's been avoiding all of it, and being really strict, if she's exposed like any kind of cross-contamination, she flares up. So she was like, you know, like what's that show, Hitch, where he's all, and his like face swelled from eating the shellfish.
But how did we get from her and all of her issues to you actually testing? Was it the observation and all the comments that we were getting, all the feedback that led to you taking some of these tests?
Okay, so when we made the Charlie Kirk video and we were in the window, I was leaning on the counter, and I think it was the way I was leaning and the way that the natural light was hitting my throat. I had several people say, your thyroid looks off, Melissa.
Several. The first couple, we were like, what?
Yeah,
what
I
are
was
they
like,
talking about? What? But then we got probably like 10.
Yeah, then people started private messaging me, telling me my thyroid looked exactly like that. And your voice sounds off and your eyes look puffy and you have this like puffing on the outer corner, which I did notice. And I remember I was telling you, I was like, I'm having some kind of an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is weird. And I brought it up and Nevaeh was in there having coffee as she always does in the morning because she likes to mooch off our creamer. And it's true. And she was like, I have a thyroid test upstairs. Why don't you just take it? And I thought, single finger prickly. She's already paid for the test. She's not going to take it. I was like, sure, bring it down, whatever, I'll do it. Filled out the little circles, mailed it in. 48 hours later, I get this thyroid result. And my levels were off the charts. And Nevaeh, being on this autoimmune journey, was like, you have antibodies. You have an autoimmune disease. And I was like, what? What does that even mean? So if you have like hypo or hyper, your TSH levels can be off, or your T3s or your T4 levels can be off. But I also had that paired with high antibodies, which means Hashimoto's. Mm-hmm. It means like, yes, you have an autoimmune disorder. And so I called the general practitioner doctor here, and he was like, yeah, that's like textbook Hashimoto's. But he thought it could be post baby Hashimoto's. I forgot what it's called exactly. It has a different name. And it's basically after having a baby, it can throw you into hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, which is probably what happened every time I had a baby.
Makes sense.
Which is why I would always get really skinny. But then he was like, paired with those antibodies, that doesn't line up. I think you have like actual legit Hashimoto's. And then after further testing, ding, 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 we had a winner.
Yeah. So where do things stand now? Because you just went in this past week and had an ultrasound done on your thyroid. They found some nodules. Is that the proper term?
That sounds so unattractive. I have thyroid nodules. That's and a goiter. Yeah, it just sounds so gross.
So you had 3 that were kind of mid-grade, and you were going in for a biopsy. And Melissa is going down this self-research rabbit hole.
Right.
Kind of thinking worst case scenario, which has been causing a little bit of stress, and we're trying to stay upbeat about everything. And
you're thinking worst case scenario?
You have been thinking worst case scenario, which is, I completely get. It's a gnarly procedure, even just having the biopsy done. At least the idea and sound of it is just, it's a lot to do with.
Yeah, a lot of people say the procedure is no big deal, but I'm just picturing this needle like going into your thyroid, into nodules, and then taking out tissue. So I don't want to be on medication for the rest of my life.
What is the medication that you're
The
taking?
medication is levothyroxine, or people just call it levo. There's 3 different kinds. You can also go on, so that's the synthetic form of basically T3.
So it's a synthetic form, but I thought you told me it was a natural hormone. I mean, it's a natural hormone to where it's not going to affect like your breastfeeding or anything like that, because we've been getting a lot of questions and concern.
It's a bioidentical hormone, but it's still synthetic. Okay. So basically it's bioidentical to your thyroid hormone. When you have Hashimoto's, your thyroid does not produce proper hormones. So in my case, my T4 level was actually normal. My T3 was not normal. My T3 was really low. Yeah. So it was like my thyroid wasn't producing T3. The levo helps you produce, or is a synthetic form of the T3. And then there's also armor thyroid, or like a nature thyroid, which is pig hormone. So it's a more natural form, but it's not human thyroid, obviously, because we can't just go around stealing people's thyroids. And so it's pig thyroid. And what I don't love about the armor or the nature thyroid is that it's not as balanced, because every pig thyroid is different. Mm-hmm. So that's why the FDA doesn't approve it in the same way, because it's not as regulated. Like every single dose is different.
So is that a supplement?
It's a supplement. It's like, it looks the same, but it's for people that don't convert T3 into T4. So their T3 and their T4 are off. My T4 isn't off. So they said, well, let's just start with the levo. My ultimate goal is to get off levo.
Right.
So I'm throwing everything natural at this. I have read so many things. I have talked to so many online doctors. I had multiple different endocrinologists reach out to me after we made the video, which was really, really cool. I had some online doctors reach out to me and say, you're going to get a bunch of people saying take iodine. We've had so many people say take iodine. And then I talked to different people that take iodine. So for hyperthyroidism, iodine's great because your thyroid is not absorbing iodine, or you're iodine deficient. Something like that causes it. But with Hashimoto's, it can sometimes be an iodine overdose. Okay. And so if you're taking iodine, you can actually make your Hashimoto's significantly worse. So my next step with blood work is to go have my iodine levels checked. If they're low, I should add iodine, but there's a very good chance that my iodine levels are really high, because I liked chips and processed food a lot. Like I could kill a bag of Tim's Cascade, the spicy chips.
Jalapeno.
Oh my gosh, jalapeno business. I would hide those. Like, so I don't think that I was getting low amounts of iodized salt in my diet. And I think that I was actually eating way too much iodized salt and too many processed foods. And that could have helped contribute to the Hashimoto's as well.
There's so much to this. And again, we just want to thank so many of you out there. Like Melissa mentioned, we've been contacted by doctors, nurses, a lot of people just sending just well wishes and prayers and all that. So appreciated. getting older is no fun. This is like the first real health hurdle that we've encountered.
This is my first health scare. So I was told in college that I had hypoglycemia. And I think possibly what I had was maybe even Graves.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of Hashimoto's.
And all of this is relatively common. You told me you found statistics that were indicating like 1 in 4 women in particular.
Yeah, well, now it's becoming more like 1 in 3 women are developing thyroid issues.
It's so prevalent. And we're not people who took the jab. We've been getting a lot of questions with that too. So it's not going to stem from that. This is just a natural occurrence, I guess.
Well, we did get the big C really bad back when Delta was going around. We got it in 2021. We were really sick.
Horrible.
Like I lost half my hair. I couldn't taste anything for probably 18 months. I had no sense of smell for months. I mean, we got it bad.
You've always kind of responded after having a baby in the same way, though, which would lead me to believe that you've been dealing with this. You just were completely unaware.
Every time I had a baby, I would get really, really thin, and I would...
We're in here like, you look so good. Doesn't she look good, everyone?
And I would get really thin, and I would have massive hair shedding. Now, hair drop is normal after you have a baby because your hormones shift. Your progesterone levels drop, and...
This wasn't hair loss, though. This was like clumps.
This was like handfuls.
That
like
I get to find.
Scary movie, like where the girls were like... and they're like, that's what it was. And it was so sudden. And it was around the same time that all of a sudden I felt like I was being choked. So I feel like this all came on very suddenly when Micah was about 4 months old. So that was about 2 months ago. And like my eyes were puffy. My hair was falling out in fistfuls.
And just lethargic and tired. And
super lethargic, brain fog like you wouldn't believe, like just mid-sentence.
You said you're experiencing brain fog with taking the supplemental hormones as well, though, right?
Yeah, and then I slur my speech anyway, which I had somebody accuse me of day drinking. They were like, I can tell that Melissa's drinking's gotten out of control.
She's not drinking at all anymore.
Because I have I'm not drinking at all, not a drop of alcohol. But I feel like the speech slurring has gotten worse.
But the facelift, though.
I was also accused of having my sister wrote me and asked me if I had Botox, like if I had gotten my eyebrows lifted. And I was like, no. What I did...
This is the fun side of like putting yourself out there online.
I lost a lot of weight suddenly with the levothyroxine, and I think it made my face thinner. And also, I got this new eyebrow crayon from Thrive because Nevaeh told me, Mom, you got to start coloring your eyebrows. They're like non-existent because I'm losing hair with the levothyroxine, like on my body.
I love how you say crayon. Say it again.
Crayon.
Crayon.
Okay, anyway, I got this eyebrow. Anyway, like 1 week of using, I was using this thing and I was adding an arch to my eyebrow. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see my eyebrows now. Like, I see, like, I'm doing it. I'm doing the makeup thing. And then everyone's like, Botox!
Facelift!
It's just eyebrow crayon.
No judgment.
You can get
no
one.
No judgment for those out there that do it. But
Thrive for $19.
That's not what has been happening here. No facelifts.
No facelifts. No Botox.
Just the Hashimoto.
No day drinking. I'm not an alcoholic. I am, however, almost completely deaf in one ear, and it does cause a speech impediment. I'm already a little self-conscious about it. So when people are like, you're drinking, I'm like, no, I just don't hear correctly.
It's a Melissa fun fact. Deaf in one ear.
Deaf in one ear. I was born almost completely deaf. And then I had a bunch of ear surgeries done, and, they're able to fix those kind of things now. But I have so much scar tissue from my eardrums rupturing twice that my right ear is almost completely deaf. I think I have maybe 15% hearing on the right.
Anyway, so kind of status quo for the time being. Melissa is combating the Hashimoto's with her diet.
Diet mostly.
Going in for a biopsy in like a couple weeks now.
Yep.
Not really looking forward to that.
What about your diet? Are you still doing carnivore?
I'm doing more so like a paleo, and Melissa's trying to recruit me into going on this gluten-free journey with her, and it is not happening. I'm sorry. I love you to death, but I cannot do it.
Why? You did it for so long. You were doing carnivore. That's gluten-free.
I can do the I actually love carnivore. I'd hop right back on the full-blown carnivore in a heartbeat.
Okay. So why can't you do gluten-free? It's literally the same thing.
I guess that's, it is technically gluten-free. You're not making a conscious effort to avoid gluten. You're just eating meat. And so
what you struggle with with the carnivore thing that I can't do, and which is why I'm not doing carnivore or keto, is processed meats. Like you will eat like the pepperoni sticks and bacon.
I eat
and
chomps.
Sandwich meat.
Steady diet of chomps in the daytime. I try to fast in the mornings. I try not to eat until like noon-ish, which I still do. But when it comes to like a quick snack, because we're usually working or doing something just really busy, I'll bring a couple of chomps sticks with me, or I'll just snack on them like when I pop back into the house. But I do those, and you can't eat anything processed anymore. So, and I would love to get away from that, but it's just something to hold me over until dinner time when I can have like a nice meal, nice steak or something.
Yeah, the AIP diet, which is an autoimmune diet, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to make this a lifestyle because Nevaeh has to do it. So I'm like, let's just do it together. We're going to be autoimmune buddies. I'm trying to get Jeremy to get on board. I think the AIP diet is literally a diet that everybody should do now that I've researched it.
Yeah, it's really good for you.
It's dairy-free because we shouldn't be eating cow dairy anyway. We're not designed to eat cow dairy.
Yeah, not a baby cow.
So it's dairy-free. It is gluten-free. And gluten is just used in the body, like Dr. Ken Berry explained, like sugar. Mm-hmm. It's sugar-free. It's fake sugar-free. So you can't use any of those artificial sweeteners and things like that you find in protein. Stevia is naturally derived depending on the source. So you can use a little bit of stevia, but it has to be natural.
You've just been going honey.
I've just been doing raw honey in very small amounts because let's face it, honey is still sugar. Your body's still going to use it like sugar. So like I might use a tablespoon in my tea at night, but other than that, like this is actually honey-free chamomile. I went off all alcohol and switched to chamomile tea. So I drink chamomile tea like it is going out of style because I can't have my red wine at night anymore. Yeah. So no alcohol, no dairy, no gluten, no sugar, and 0 processed foods, which cut out pretty much anything convenient, anything in a package, and any kind of convenient meat.
And anything delicious.
Yeah, it's so everything is whole food.
No, it's, like I said, I fully support you. I may go full blown carnivore once again because I do enjoy doing it. I told you that's like the best I've ever felt by far.
It's just what people used to eat. So I can have brown rice. I can have steel cut organic oats. So I can have oatmeal, brown rice, yams, and sweet potato.
Yeah, no, it's not so bad
as a starch. And then any fruits and vegetables that I want, and then any meat. Except for your beef needs to be grass-fed and lean. It can't be like the fatty cuts. Mm-hmm. And then you're not supposed to eat like crustaceans and like unclean meats. Yeah, like, like the spiders of the sea. crabs and lobsters, sea bugs. You're not supposed to eat stuff like that. So you're pretty much supposed to, I'm eating salmon, chicken. It's a good for you diet. Come on.
I ate her salmon. She was very upset with me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I've been pre-cooking because lunch is really difficult because you can't just grab something when you're hungry. I made up 2 slabs of salmon to have for lunch and he ate it at like 9 o'clock at night for no reason after dinner. He just ate it my whole lunch. I was legit angry. That was where I was like, be nice. You can cook more. Like I was sitting there at like 10:30 at night and I was like, you ate my salmon? And you're like,
are you eating my salmon? There's like a bite and a half left. I'm like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, like why would you do that?
Because it was there and it looked delicious.
Do we do it anymore? We don't do it anymore.
Okay, so there's some Hashimotos talk for you guys.
It's just healthy diet talk. We're going to do this.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on everything that's going on, Melissa. And again, thank you for the well wishes and the prayers and everything. It means a lot coming from so many of you out there.
Yeah, it does. So. It means so much, like having this community of prayer warriors out there. You guys have made me feel so much better with not only your own experiences, because I didn't know how many people had gone through this, but just a lot of advice and helpful things. And hey, have you checked into this? And like, I'm reading every message. I'm Googling a lot of things. Some of it I'm doing, some of it I'm not. Like it has to fit in with my AIP diet. And I'm going to try that. And then we're going to check where we're at in 6 months.
Speaking of AI and getting older, talk to me about this entire concept of a bridge generation, which we apparently fall in. You brought this to my attention.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it right now.
Well, cold and flu season is upon us once again.
Melissa's favorite.
Yeah. And everyone is searching for the very best vitamin regimen that they can find, something that actually works and that our bodies can actually absorb. This year, we discovered Stack from Phi, and it has been an absolute game changer.
Yeah, having an expensive cupboard full of pills, most of which are 99.99% filler, meaning that the active ingredient is less than 0.01% of the product you are consuming, and then having to try to choke them all down is no fun. It's not very sustainable, which is why we love the convenient and practical micropill system.
Yeah, Stack are not only easy to swallow, but they offer excellent absorption, close to a blood IV of vitamins without the needle. And they replace over 22 pills with a simple 2-capsule system, one for the morning and one for the night.
Yeah, it's a really interesting new technology because the different colors actually offer different time releases for the perfect amount of nutrients at different times of the day or night when they will be best absorbed instead of all at once, causing your body to just flush them out or cause the nutrients to compete with one another.
Once you try Stacks and actually experience nutrient timing and compatibility of certain vitamins and minerals together, you will never want to go back to regular multivitamins. Stack users report higher energy, better moods, improved sleep, improved immunity, and a noticeable difference in overall health within days of starting Phi Stack.
Gotta give them a try for yourself and get $10 off your first order. Just click the link down below or go to www.phi.health/NWOS.
So I've been reading through my reading that a lot of people 40 and older, which is pretty much everybody watching. If you're not 40 and older and you're watching this podcast, you are the 1%.
Yeah.
So it's mostly our, people our age and our parents' age that enjoy New World Old Soul. And it's because we're all living in a new world with a new world. There's that slur. It's the wine. We're all living in this new world with our old souls. And it's because we are feeling sad about being part of this bridge generation because we know better.
Let me read this AI overview, courtesy of the Google machine, of what exactly this bridge generation is. For us, refers to millennials who are caught between the pre-digital and digital worlds, having experienced life before the internet and adapted to it as their careers began. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
For us.
For us, for people our age, not necessarily when our careers began, but like the whole internet, social media thing kind of took off for us, like late high school, college age, with the MySpaces and such. We are also described as being the first generation to have grown up with a rapidly advancing digital technology, but we can also remember the time when it didn't dominate our life, unlike Gen Z. This group often became tech support for their older family members and colleagues, helping them navigate the transition from landlines to smartphones and from mail to email. That all of that applies for me, to me for sure. Not necessarily family members, but when I had like older coworkers back at the police department, every time we get some kind of new technological tool introduced to us, they became so overwhelmed and frustrated, which I could appreciate because I felt the same way. But I think more, I was more adaptable to these changes since I had like a very baseline familiarity with how to use computers and the internet and all that. But it's a really interesting concept because I do feel like it leaves us feeling kind of empty and frustrated at times. That definitely is the case for me.
Yeah, well, I think that we are mourning a time period that no longer exists. So like when you talk about
simpler times,
going to Hawaii and then everything looks different and that it'll never be the same. Like you can never reverse it. It
breaks my heart. I know this doesn't apply to just me. Like I know this is probably the case for
time period.
Yeah, it's like all the memories that I have and the places don't exist anymore. Like going out and going biking with my friends in the pineapple and sugarcane fields or with my dad. All of that is just urban sprawl now. It's a time that we miss.
Right.
Not necessarily the location. I mean, I miss the location as well, but with things changing and becoming so it's confusing in a weird way when you step away from it or you're away from it for many years as I have been when it comes to Hawaii. It's all just so overwhelming that the internet has changed things so drastically. It makes me yearn for the past because I hate the internet. I've said this many a time, even though this is what we do now. It's unnecessary.
Well, so pretty much 40 and older, we're going to become relics, like you said. We are the last of our kind. We are the last people that knew life before the internet. And when we're gone, when we're old and gone, nobody will live on Earth that didn't know the internet and smartphones. And information right at your fingertips. Like we used to get in fights with friends over different things, or there would be a rumor swirling around about a celebrity. Like,
I told you last night.
Like Marilyn Manson. Remember that rumor?
Back when you could BS people, right?
Yeah.
We were watching
politicians.
What was the name of that guy? The yoga dude?
Oh, the yoga guy.
Bikram.
Yeah. Yep.
Bikram Yoga. We were watching the Bikram Yoga documentary on Netflix last night. And he basically had this entire backstory about all his life's accomplishments. And turns out it was all a bunch of BS because
but there's no way to
the
fact
guy was
check.
but that's what people did back then. You look at like Biden. I remember made all these claims back when he ran for president in the 80s, and come to find out none of that was true. And that was very commonplace. But the internet has made things, and I guess in that sense, like, it's a good thing. I'm glad we have access to this information. We can clarify things for ourselves, and we can seek out this knowledge. But at the same time, it's so incredibly overwhelming and convoluted to where it becomes confusing. And so many of us devote far too much time to the internet rather than, appreciating everything it is that we have here in the real world, which is what I love about living where we do. But even then, I feel like it interferes and kind of gets in the way. With the kids in particular. Like, it drives me absolutely crazy. How often do I tell them, like, no, give me the tablet, go outside and play, go experience something real? I drove home from the grocery store the other day and had a mama moose and a baby moose run across the road directly in front of my car. Like, moments like that you miss out on so much because we've all just become so sucked into this garbage, these screens, and just our personal interactions with one another. Like, I love watching all of these videos that do pop up, ironically enough, on my social media of like high school in the 90s. Because
dating now is so weird.
Any social event.
If you have kids or grandkids, the way that they date and get to know one another is so stinking weird.
It's all crap.
When we liked someone, you would have to talk to them. You would have to, like, guys would have to man up and go talk to a girl. If you wanted their phone number, you wanted to interact with them. There was no, like, what's your Snap? Or asking a friend for their Snapchat and all this garbage where, you can be a coward and kind of, like, put feelers out. No, you had to, like, go up and be rejected. And then if you wanted to call a guy or a girl, you had to get past their parents because you had to call the landline of their house.
Yeah.
And their mother answered. And you'd be like, hi, Mrs. Smith.
Somebody eavesdropping, one of them eavesdropping on your conversation.
Home? And they'd be like, who's this? Or you would have to call a girl's house and their dad would pick up the phone and you, in your guy voice. I remember having my guy friends call a guy that I liked because I didn't want his mom to answer and hear a girl's voice. It was so ridiculous, but this is the kind of stuff we would do.
I guess it's just a big part. It's a part of just getting older, right? Probably every generation experiences this, but I feel like in our case, it's very drastic because the world is such a drastically different place now than it was in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, if you wanted privacy, you would have to get the long cord for the telephone, and you would have to stretch that sucker into the laundry room and shut the door so that your whole family couldn't listen, but you could hear your mom click the phone remember that? You'd be hold on, somebody pick up the other. Get off the line, Alicia.
You brought up a good point the other day, is that nobody is left alone with their thoughts anymore. And we're doing it to ourselves. We are hit with so many options of entertainment at any given time, like right at our fingertips. And nobody spends any time alone, quiet with their thoughts.
With your thoughts. Not even in the shower.
And you
not
said it was so true.
In the bathroom.
Never.
Like, there's people that are I can't poop if I don't have my phone.
I'm one of those people. Like, I will go and grab my phone if I don't have it. Honestly.
You can't settle in.
That's super sad. I listen to podcasts when you pointed out, like, you can't go outside and do chores, that you can't mow the lawn without your earbuds in. And I mean, I can, but I choose not to. And this is the problem with it, is that it's so incredibly enticing. I listen to podcasts when I shower.
I don't.
There's no getting away from it. And when you pointed it out of, like, we are never alone with our thoughts. Like, except for these brief moments, you're spot on with that. And it's completely, it's my own fault. It's my own doing.
We wake up to noise. We go to bed to noise.
All day. You cannot get away from it.
We shower. Well, I make a point out of, because like I say, the shower is my church. Like, I do not listen to music or podcasts in the shower ever. That is where I turn off the world.
Yeah.
But whenever you're showering, you have a podcast blaring.
I do.
You listen to podcasts constantly.
And I told you my explanation is just a total cop out of an excuse, is that I feel like it's multitasking for me. Like, I can do stuff. I can go outside and do chores and get stuff done while also learning. about something, or just listening to something like I find interesting and entertaining.
But are you always learning, or are you just filling
No,
the noise?
It's a total, it's completely just filling that potential, like peace and inward exploration. It's a complete distraction, and it's why I think so many of us are so incredibly miserable. It's really ironic saying this while we're recording a podcast for people to listen to right now.
Stop listening to these things, guys.
But you know what I mean? I think it's why so many of us feel the way that we do.
Yeah.
Because nothing's real.
For sure.
We are so distracted all day.
I feel like it's very important to be alone with your thoughts, because when you're not alone with your thoughts, you don't reflect. And if you don't reflect, you're not going to better yourself.
Yes.
There's something to be said about a good, hot, steamy side dish of guilt. And like when you mess up and you have a fight, or you drop the ball with your kids, or you're like, I'm rude to you. Let's say I have a rude reaction to you or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you're really rude to me, like it happens. Yeah. You should go out frustrated to mow the lawn, but then you should think about it. You shouldn't just turn on a podcast and then distract yourself from it, because then you're not properly reflecting.
Yeah.
You need to reflect on things. You need to think, how, like, I messed up in there. How can I do better? But if you never allow yourself to be alone with your thoughts, one, you're not going to reflect. Two, you're not going to better yourself as a person. Three, you lose sight of reality, actual reality.
You do.
And you lose that connection with God. And it's because so many times when you're alone with your thoughts and you're feeling desperate and you're not distracting yourself, you turn to God. Like that is times that people will pray and ask for help and ask for guidance. And I think that so many of us have filled it with so much noise.
Yeah, and all of that is a practice. It takes conscious effort, and the less you do it, like anything else, it becomes kind of like a perishable skill to where you have a difficult time tapping in to whatever it is that you're reflecting upon. Does that make sense? Well, at least I find that that's the case for me.
Now people call it meditation. Like, I spent 20 minutes meditating.
New agey.
In the 80s, we just called it being. Like you were just having a shower. You were mowing the lawn. You were on a tractor. I mean, farmers used to just all day long be in their tractor.
You'd be in your head,
cutting their field, thinking about things.
Right. You'd be in your head. Like I just drove with the kids to that Seahawks game that we went to over in Seattle, long drive, and they brought their tablets along. It's become a very, very bad habit. But I told them, even when we were leaving, I'm like, just enjoy the drive. Like we used to have to do. But at the same time, I was listening to podcasts the whole way there. Actually, you know what? On the way there, I wasn't listening to the podcast. I turned the podcast on like halfway over. But yeah, you're so right. And it's just so tantalizing. Like it's so
dopamine.
Completely. It's just a steady stream of dopamine, man. It's so hard to get away from.
This is a drug.
It's freaking
the
things.
Scroll. Like they literally did.
It's engineered.
Yeah, they did studies on the brain to see like this is a comforting motion.
Let us know if you guys find this to apply to yourselves as well. I'm sure that it does, and many of you, like Melissa pointed out, are our age or older, and whether or not this is a source of frustration for you as it is for us.
So I think it's a source of frustration for anyone 40 and older, because we knew life before.
And it was satisfying.
We knew what life looked like before, and it was more simple and pure and real. And now we know life after. And even if we're guilty of indulging in life after, we still mourn the loss of the life that was before, because we lived it and we understood it.
It makes me so sad to see these videos that I mentioned.
Yeah, but our kids, they don't know life before the internet, so they don't see it in the same sad way that we do.
Do you think that they will still have their moment? Because with this whole AI takeover, which I already feel like we're being left behind in that case. Like Nevaeh is always bringing up like, oh, plug it into Chat GPT, whatever it is that we're discussing. I'm like, no, I go to Google because I'm older, I guess. And you think they will have their moments though, to where the AI takeover goes so far years from now, decades from now, that they will look back upon this time as like a simpler time?
I think so. I think that they're going to mourn. They're going to say, remember when YouTube was people making videos on their cell phone and it was real people? Yeah. Remember when movies were real actors and
but
they
just
had
for themselves on
producers.
A personal level, like I think that they will look back upon their lives, especially like when we first moved here. Like you go back to our older videos, and again, the irony of having to go back to videos that are posted on the internet to reflect upon what at some point will probably be thought of as a simpler time. But I think the world is going to become so unglued, and the technology is going to take over to such a crazy extent that they will reflect and look back upon their lives in the 2010s as like, oh, remember back when we used to do this. And fortunately for our kids, in the way that we've done things, we actually have lived a very simple life when compared to most.
Yeah, we gave them that 80s childhood in a way. But that was by design.
It still managed to infiltrate, work its way in, and create an imbalance, quite honestly, with where it is that they are now in their lives.
It's so difficult with kids now because, like, yes, we raised our kids with kites and bikes and, stuff like that.
Playing outside.
Stuff that we thought was really important to create that childhood. But at the same time, they do live in this technical world. So there's this balance of, if you completely isolate your children from technology, do you set them up for failure? Right. Because they'll be so far behind and they won't understand it. And will they resist it in the same way that we resist it?
Which is yet another source of frustration for me. Yep. I always joke that I'm going to get rid of the damn Wi-Fi once we're done with
I don't think you'll be able to.
You and Nevaeh were arguing, like, you can't do that. It's not going to be possible.
You're not going to be able to survive. You're not going to be able to make a doctor's appointment without it.
Yeah. I mean, I fear that is probably correct because that's not what I want. I don't. I crave simplicity. I crave going backward. That's ideally what I want to be this quiet, gruff mountain man. That's the reason we came here.
Yeah.
And to think that the world is not going to facilitate me being able to live that out is a total bummer.
Yeah, but I mean, we were blessed to have that childhood, that latchkey childhood. If you watch The Wonder Years, which took place in it's supposed to take place in the 60s.
Great show.
It really mimicked our childhood in the 80s. Like, there wasn't a huge difference between people that grew up in the 60s and people that grew up in the 80s.
Go outside, grab your bike, find your friends.
Your parents were shoving you out the door, go play, like, leave us alone, and come back when the streetlights were on. We came back when the streetlights were on. All kids did. Sleepovers were not this taboo thing. Like, you could just sleep over at your friend's house. I'm not saying that's good because we are no sleepover family. We didn't worry about what we ate. We just ate whatever. That was like the rise of microwave food.
Doesn't mean we were doing things right either.
No, it doesn't.
We weren't aware of it because
different.
You didn't have access to the information. You weren't constantly being peppered with, this study came out today, so don't do this.
If you went to the mall on a Friday night, it was popping off.
It's a place to be.
Everyone was there. Like, I love watching things like Stranger Things. Stranger Things is a weird show. But what I love about the show is that when they go to the mall and there's the arcade, the food court is a social place. Everybody's walking around. No one's buying anything. Everyone just walked around and hung out. Yeah. And you could go there.
There was value in being with others and the people that you cared about.
Malls are
getting
deserted
to know one
now.
Another, having conversations eye to eye. I miss all of that.
Yeah, like the lunch table at school. You looked forward to lunch.
Yeah. Because it was a big part of the motivation for us starting this channel and getting to converse with people that we found interesting, sitting across from one another eye to eye, getting to know who they are, what makes them tick.
Yeah, the beauty of something like a podcast when you get to sit down with somebody new is you get to have a conversation with them and nobody's staring at their phone.
But again, the irony of that is like so many of the people that we've managed to have contact with and have conversations with are people that I was interested in speaking to because I heard of them online and what it is that they had to say.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
or on TV.
Or on TV, like, Kirk Cameron.
Yeah. We watched.
Back in the day, but.
Yeah, and all we did was talk about the 80s when we got together. Yeah. So, after our podcast, Kirk, he's such a cool dude. I mean, he's so cool. He's as cool as I thought he was when I had the poster of him. When we were getting ready to leave, he was like, we're going out for steak. Come to dinner with us.
Guess who else is on Carnivore?
Yeah. And Kurt's on Carnivore too.
And friends with Dr. Ken Berry, ironically enough.
Yeah. And so we all went out to dinner and we just talked about the 80s and like how good and pure life was back then.
Good times.
And it really, really was. Like, I miss that. And I don't think if you're under 40, you understand it. I don't think you can because you had to have experienced it and remembered it. Oh. Things like everything was scented. Everything was so much better back then. There was less of everything. We had less information. We didn't think the world was this horrible, scary place. Like, yeah, there were kids' faces on milk cartons back then. And I actually think child abductions were higher back then. But we didn't hear about it constantly. Yeah. When now, if you're pregnant, Instagram feeds you up every horror story about pregnancy or birth that there is. And you feel like the world is this scary, awful, evil place. And we just didn't have that much information. We lived in this kind of bliss. We watched the news at night and it was local and it was limited, and it was just different. I don't know. I don't think we can ever get that.
There are things that have been detrimental, though. Like there are studies and statistics to suggest that it has been very detrimental to like teenage girls with ending their own lives because of the comparisons. And we've talked about that ad nauseum. I think all of us understand that so much of the online world is completely fictitious in the sense that it is all just a depiction. For the most part, it's so hard to find authenticity. And again, this is something else that we battle as people who actually do this. Is that it becomes so frustrating when you see what to us is abundantly obvious as far as a lack of authenticity, let's say, because we always try to just come on here and just do our own thing. And fortunately, there are those of you who appreciate that and are here for it. So it's a massive discussion to be had. The bridge generation, very interesting. To start winding things down here, though, it is the week of Halloween. I think we're going to be a couple of days before Halloween by the time all of this hits online. And we've been receiving some comments that we wanted to address because we just thought it'd make for an interesting discussion about whether or not Halloween is evil, because it was pointed out to us that partaking in the activity with our children of carving pumpkins was a practice of
idolatry,
and that it was just diabolical in nature.
Children today are seeing things at younger and younger ages that we never encountered as children, and these messages are designed to confuse them about right and wrong, who they are, and God's truth.
So here's the thing. As parents and grandparents, we can't always control all of it, but we absolutely can prepare our kids for the world that they're going to face.
And that's exactly why we partnered with Brave Books to write our first children's book, Made to Be Ludo. It's all about embracing who God made you to be instead of comparing yourself to others.
And Brave creates a brand new, beautifully illustrated book every single month. Our kids literally can't put them down. The stories always draw them in. The illustrations are gorgeous, and each one tackles something important like courage, humility, hard work, and loving others. They're all rooted in biblical truth, and they bring our whole family together for conversations that actually matter.
Yeah, we trust Brave Books in our home because they are fighting for our children, not against them.
Right now, when you join the Brave Book Club, you'll get our book completely free. Every dollar that we make goes straight to the Childhood Cancer Coalition, and Brave is going to be matching every donation when you join today.
So head over to bravebooks.com/GSL to claim your exclusive deal. That's bravebooks.com/GSL. Some stories are so timeless, they don't just live in history, they live in us.
Yeah, and David is definitely one of them. The new animated musical from Angel Studios takes a story thousands of years old and makes it feel brand new.
The animation is breathtaking, the music gives you chills, and the story just fills you up with hope. It's everything that you want in a movie that you can actually share with your whole family.
It's on the same level as The King of Kings or The Prince of Egypt. What I love most is that it reminds us courage isn't the absence of fear, it's choosing faith in the middle of it.
And before the full movie hits theaters on December 19th, you can actually start the journey with the Young David series. It is streaming right now on Angel.
Young David shows us who David was before the legend, when he was just a curious, brave shepherd boy, learning what it means to trust God and lead with love.
It's beautifully made, it's deeply meaningful, and it's something that families can sit down and watch together and walk away feeling inspired.
So if you've been waiting for a film that brings back the heart, the artistry, and the faith that used to define great storytelling, this is it.
Go to angel.com/NWOS and become a premium member of the Angel Guild.
You can stream Young David today and get 2 free tickets to see David in theaters this Christmas.
Yes. We were told that our children's jack-o'-lanterns that they grew in our garden were idols, and that because we allowed our children to carve pumpkins, we cannot enter the gates of heaven.
What do you think about that?
I think that's very mean.
I mean, there are aspects, like we were going to get dressed up in something comical to come in here, but we didn't get our costumes in time.
Wait, what were you going to be?
I didn't really have any ideas, which is part of the reason I didn't get a costume, but we were talking about it.
You dress like the Lorax, like every teenage girl?
We have a lot going on, as we always do, so it kind of fell to the wayside. Maybe next year.
I wanted to be Mary Poppins.
I think there are a lot of aspects of Halloween that are fun, depending on how it is that you choose to celebrate, but there are most definitely aspects of it that are evil. You're talking about, ghouls and goblins and things that one can perceive as being like demonic, like the song we were listening to last night at the end of the Adam Sandler Halloween movie, where it was like repeating the devil, the devil, the devil. We were like, what is this? Turn this garbage off. It was like
dancing with the devil, the devil. I was like, what on earth?
I get it. I think some people have a tendency to kind of take it to like an extreme.
Depends on the way you celebrate it.
Yeah, if you're just, you're having fun with your kids dressing up, I really don't have a problem with it personally. When you start talking about like dark nefarious aspects of how you can celebrate and like communicating with the dead and all. Like, okay, I get it, and I don't like meddling with those types of things per se. But for the most part, in the way that most of us here in the U.S. tend to celebrate Halloween, I think it's pretty innocuous for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I know that emotions run really high on this. It's all the talk on Instagram right now with the Christian influencers and podcasters on whether or not you should participate in Halloween.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a huge topic right now. And so it depends. I mean, for me, it depends on like if you want to go all the way back into the history of the date. November 1st was a Celtic holiday where it was like all about like tricks. And I think it goes back to like the little people that come out and they play tricks on you. The little people in the forest that people say that they can see. Every culture has it. The Hawaiians have them.
The Menehune.
The leprechauns for
Irish people.
The Irish people. Yeah. The gnomes for the Norwegians. There's like little people in every.
You think that these little beings are like demonic forces?
They're like demonic.
This conversation's about to take a really weird and bizarre turn. A lot of people experience or come into contact with these fictitious beings after taking like psychedelic drugs.
Right. So I was talking to one of my brothers who has substance abuse issues, and he one time said that he saw a bunch of little people after taking, and not like LP little people, like really little people.
Beings.
So even they're human-like, but they're itty-bitty and they're tricksters.
They're tricksters, yeah.
And they trick you into doing naughty things. Or they trick you into like going into the forest, and they trick you into, all kinds of different things. So
they tempt you.
Yeah, they're like little tempters.
Temptresses.
That's for girls.
Tempter
right?
people.
Tempters. What are male temptresses
Words
called?
are hard. I don't know. Whatever. People who tempt.
Is there a male version of tempters? So anyway, if you go back to this holiday, it was November 1st, and they believed they were these little people, and it was a demonic holiday. It was a heathen holiday. Mm-hmm. And then there was this pope that decided that All Saints Day, he was going to move it. So, I mean, it's very much like Christmas,
right?
Where they took a
pagan holiday.
It always
finagles its way into
and they
religion somehow.
Replaced it. Well, because there was this big movement. I don't know if it was just the Catholic Church or different popes or what the deal was, but they were basically replacing pagan holidays with godly or Christian holidays to eradicate these pagan celebrations.
There's no religious aspect to modern day Halloween celebrations.
So Halloween, the word Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
And that is actually, I believe, Catholic. So there's All Saints Day, which is November 1st. And then All Hallows Eve is the day before All Saints Day.
Okay.
And it was the Catholic thing. And that's where we come up with the word Halloween. So Halloween.
I've never heard this.
The word Halloween isn't satanic. Or it wasn't a satanic holiday. It actually stems from All Hallows Eve, which is the day before All Saints Day.
Okay.
So it was actually like this, but it fell on the same day as this Celtic holiday with like these little tricksters. So the whole trick or treat stems from the tricksters versus the treat.
Did you look this up, or did you already know this?
I knew it from my religious studies in college. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never heard this.
Yeah. Fun fact, I wrote for the school paper, and I wrote every holiday I would do an editorial on that holiday and the background of the holiday. So I know weird fun facts.
Even the phrase trick or treat is an interesting one.
Because the trick comes from the whole Celtic little people being tricksters.
But just take it for what it is. Like trick or treat, it's kind of a dark little phrase.
Yeah, trick or treat.
But you have two options.
It should just be Kenny, please.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, because like, why are we saying trick or treat?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
How about neither? Huh? What do you say?
Yeah, how about just some candy?
Anyone?
So, but the way that Americans celebrate it, or that I think a lot of people around the world celebrate, like, it depends if you're being dark and demonic with it, or if you're dressing like a princess.
Yeah, I think certain people take it as an opportunity to tap into some demonic crap. So
you have to be careful.
I completely understand the negative connotation, but it's like Ouija boards and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Stay away from all of that stuff. Stay away from the scary dark horror movies. don't use it as an excuse to dress like a dirty nurse or slutty nun or whatever. Like that's just.
What was the one I just showed you when everyone else at the party is
the hot dog?
Like
all the girls are dressed all trampy, and then the girl dressed like the giant hot dog. That was totally me. So in college, we had a Halloween party at it was Delta Nu and Delta, or Sigma Chi and Sigma Nu. And then the cheerleaders all dressed like Hooters girls. And I was a college cheerleader. And I was like, I am not dressing like a Hooter girl. So
that's not a costume. That's a uniform.
Dressed.
Come on. That's lazy.
As an owl. And I made the costume because that was back before. Like there was no Amazon. Amazon was where you sold used textbooks. Yeah. When I went to college, Amazon was where you sold used textbooks.
Remember that? Remember when Netflix was DVDs?
Yes. Yeah. DVDs that came to your house.
You had to mail it back.
And that was, man, getting a movie shipped to your house, that was like, what on earth? This is crazy.
Again, I missed the Blockbuster days. It was an experience. And you got a couple movies.
Cases.
The VHS tapes, yeah, with the shiny, like sheen
and they had
boxes.
Big movie posters.
Yeah, it was awesome.
My brothers on Friday would be like, okay, we're going to do movies and pizza. It's Friday night. They were so great about that. And then we would go to Blockbuster, or we had Acme Video. Acme. We didn't have Acme Video.
Seattle thing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was just one local video store.
We just had our like local video store.
They had the squeaky door.
And then there was the back room with the curtains.
Oh, yeah. You're not allowed to go in the back room. But you would open the squeaky door and you would walk in. And the video store has smell. I think it was the cases.
Yeah, totally.
And then it would have the movie in front and then the movie in back. If the movie was in back, it meant it was in stock. But if the back movie was gone, then you didn't get to rent the new release.
If it was a movie that was big that had just hit
in that back movie.
DVD or VHS or beta back in the day.
To the counter and be like, could you check the return box?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, we have a copy of Rocky 3. You'd be like, yes.
Score.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be your weekend.
Yeah.
See, fun times. Simple.
You'd watch that movie like 10 times because you knew you had to return it in 24 hours.
We didn't need streaming. We didn't need access to thousands of titles at any given time.
We got to pick out. We'd get the good popcorn that they sold at the video store. They would mix the extra butter one in the movie thing. Popcorn. Yeah, and then we'd get 2 movies, $3.99 for new release, $1.99.
They sold the extra big boxes of candy just like at the theater, and you would call your friends and you would plan your evening.
Okay, we have gone way off what we were talking about.
Way off, as we always do.
So anyway, Halloween. I think you know what? That was another 80s rollerblades. You got the most candy on rollerblades. I have really great memories of dressing like a Cabbage Patch or a unicorn. I was a Cabbage Patch with the plastic face and those 80s costumes that had the plastic mask and then you would breathe in it.
Those had a smell too.
Yeah. And it wasn't the floppy ones that go over your whole head. No. Yeah. Just the little plastic one that you would strap on. Yep. I was a pumpkin one year. Like we were always super innocent things. We weren't out there conjuring up spirits. It was my dad would go. Like, he would take us out, my mom, and she'd stand with the umbrella because we lived in Seattle, and it was always raining every stinking year. And you got to trick-or-treat in Hawaii.
Yep. Yeah, we'd put our rollerblades on, and we'd hit up, like, as many houses as we possibly could in the neighborhood. It was always warm. We'd go play hide and seek. Like, yeah, it was just good times.
It was good times. But, yeah, I mean, it just depends. Like, so our kids this year are... Micah's being a golden retriever. He's being the dog from Up, and... They're doing a whole Up theme. So this is our kids. Kira's being the house from Up, and we're doing like a bunch of balloons, like the house that flies away. And then Micah's being Doug the dog. And then Kaimani wants to take Micah around. I think he still just wants to trick or treat, which is adorable. But he's like, no,
I'm doing it. You can grow a mustache. You're too old to trick or treat.
We told him that last year. And then this year he's like, no, I'm taking Micah. So anyway, he's being the like Asian kid from Up, which is funny because he's an Asian kid, so it works. And then, so we have this whole Up theme going. We always theme as a family. Every year it was a theme. Eli, what's he being? Freaking radioactive lizard. Godzilla. Eli's being Godzilla. So we have this whole theme going, and then Eli's Godzilla. And we're like, Eli. He's like, no. Nope.
You're ruining the theme.
I know. So we're going to have like this whole like Pixar thing going on with our family and then Godzilla. A massive inflatable Godzilla.
Fun times.
He marches to the beat of his own drum.
So we're going to drive into town because we can't trick or treat around here because there's like 3 properties that we could go to.
Yeah.
But
I do not think it means that we do not get to enter the gates of heaven. I truly believe that our souls are still saved by grace. We still believe in the birth, death, and resurrection of our holy Lord and Savior. We still look to him for all things, including Hashimoto's healing. I don't think our children dressing up like Pixar creatures and Godzilla. Godzilla! I could get Godzilla to kill the Hashimotos.
Mildly racist.
You're Asian. It's okay.
On that note.
I wasn't like, he can't drive because he's... I'm just joking. I'm joking.
We're going to wind it down here so that we don't allow Melissa to have these little excited utterances. But happy Halloween
it's a level.
To everybody out there.
It's a fog brain.
Be safe if you're going out, as usual. We appreciate you being here. And thank you once again for all the well wishes for Melissa and the Hashimotos. Don't do it. Don't. Okay.
Eli's going to cure me. He's going to be like, Godzilla!
Love and appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.